Hey guys, it's me, Boy Shay, and welcome to my channel where I talk about what I want when I want. And today's video happens to be the beginning of my first astrological series, which is the sun in the houses. So today, I want to pop it off. We're going to start with the 12th house. Okay, so this is a 12th house interpretation by a 12th house sun. Okay, I'm a Cancer sun in the 12th house. So I wanted to make this video first because I feel like the 12th house, its reputation, I don't feel like it's always accurately interpreted because it's always interpreted as the house of darkness, the house of the undoing. It has all these like negative connotations, and I'm here to give you the spiritual perspective of the 12th house, and that is what my astrological interpretations offer differently. Is I'm going to give you how you can apply this knowledge to your physical life, as well as how it plays out spiritually, what you have the opportunity to learn and gain from these archetypes. And once again, just an emphasis on the spiritual overview. So let's get into it. You know what? I was gonna stop, but I'm doing this thing. I'm not editing videos no more. So we're gonna keep it rolling. 12th house sun. The house of the undoing. This is false, okay? When you have your sun in the 12th house, this means you are gifted in the ability to see in the in-between. You see the unseen forces of life. You live within the realm of the unseen. You may even feel alien to earth when you have your sun in the 12th house. Now, whatever house your sun is in, this is the house that you are meant to shine in. This is the house that your life theme is illuminated through. So the 12th house is the house of spirit. So when your sun, the ego, is in the 12th house, your mission here in this life is to merge spirit with ego, okay? If your sun is in the 12th house, you are here to be of service to humanity. You are here to lend your unique perspective on life to others, okay? Because when your sun is in the 12th house, you see things differently than other people. You most likely see things that other people do not see. And that is why this house has a negative reputation as the house of the undoing or the house of being crazy. This is not true, okay? It does not resonate as true for me. When you are merging spirit with ego, you receive lessons in life that makes you have to put your ego into the back seat, okay? And this is also a house of karma. So whatever hardships you have in this life, with your sun in the 12th house, you are here to balance out that karma, okay? And so how you balance out karma is by being of service. And depending on the sign that your sun is in and what other planets play out in the 12th house could give you more of a clue as to what karma you have to resolve. But as well as karma, the 12th house also brings you gifts, meaning gifts that you've earned and gained from past lives that you get to come into this life with already having a knowingness of it, or already having some sort of understanding, or just an inkling that you're a little different, or have certain abilities. So this house is very psychic, very empathic. If you have your sun in the 12th house, you are automatically an empath, someone who feels other people's emotions, feels other people's vibes. Energy is your first language. With that, it can also be kind of frustrating because you have this feeling of, who am I? Okay, because your ego is submerged in the watery house of Pisces in the 12th house. So the constant question is, who am I? Okay, and what I have come to realize along my studies is this question will probably never be answered, because Pisces, or the 12th house, is the all-encompassing house. Okay, it is where all of human experience, all of life experience exist. Meaning, if you have your sun in the 12th house, you can pick any sign that you want to be on any given day. Your identity is not set in stone, okay? You may also find that in the presence of others, the personality that is most needed in that situation may come out or may arise. Okay, you might find that you're kind of a social chameleon when you feel like being social, because the 12th house is also the house of solitude, meaning you need a lot of solitude in order to understand your own energy. Because being an empath and having your sun in the 12th house, absorbing other people's energy can kind of create a sense of confusion if you don't have a certain level of awareness of what is your energy and what is another person's energy. Okay, and so to decipher that, 12th house people have to be in solitude, have a spiritual practice that allows them to clear their energy and maintain awareness on a daily basis, whether that be saging, crystals, any spiritual modality that helps you understand your energy and clear it. Okay. Otherwise, you find yourself kind of playing out other people's themes. Also, with that, 12th house suns are a mirror. Okay, you are a mirror for people. So you may either find that people either really love you or really hate you because you reflect to them what they need to see in that moment. Okay, and I used to be someone who would take that personally when I thought I was being the most nicest, most genuine person, and that person didn't like me. But what I had to realize was I was triggering something in them that maybe they felt like they lacked, or triggering something within them that they needed to address or work on. Okay, 12th house people often trigger people's soul. Okay, with your identity in the soul, in the house of the soul, you speak to other people's soul. And so whatever they are meant to get from you within that interaction was food for their soul. So even if you made them uncomfortable, that uncomfortability is going to help them grow in some way. So the 12th house isn't always negative. And just because you have a 12th house sun, don't think your life is meant to be doom and gloom. You are here to gain an awareness of reality through a spiritual lens, through analyzing symbolism, okay, through embracing a life of mysticism, which simply means going with the flow and understanding that everything happens in divine timing and as it's supposed to happen. And with that, 12th house suns people, you may feel like anytime you try to assert your will or make something happen in your life, you may experience a lot of resistance or feel like, things don't necessarily happen or come easy to you. And that's because when you have your sun in the 12th house, you're here to learn how to receive. You're here to learn how to trust in the universe, and trust that everything happens in divine timing. Okay. And if you have a 12th house sun, it benefits you to take inspired action, okay, that is in alignment with your intuition, okay, because you are living a very spiritually guided life, meaning it benefits you to tap into your guides, your spirit team, in order to better understand what your purpose is and what you're here to do, because it's not, your path isn't one that can be shown to you or that someone else can spell out for you. Your path is laid out to you by diving more deeply into yourself, and understanding what your soul has to offer humanity in this life. Okay. Let's see what else. Also, when you have your sun in the 12th house, people have a tendency to project onto you. Meaning, once again, when you meet someone, they see in you what they need to see or what they need to learn, or it's never about you, if that makes sense. And 12th house people also have this heightened awareness. So it manifests as this like certain self-consciousness around people, or it can have a tendency to, or like a hyper awareness of how people feel. And also feeling like people may dump their baggage on you or dump their issues on you because they feel that unconditional love or unconditional service. But what the 12th house has to learn is 12th house suns have to learn is who deserves to be in their energy and who does not. And so setting emotional boundaries, being aware of who you give access to, because it is very easy for 12th house suns to be drained of other people's energy. And this is also the house of self-sacrifice and martyrdom. Okay, so we all go through that phase of self-sacrificing, but then realizing this does not feel good. I feel like I'm being used. But also I feel guilty if I don't help or if I'm not of service. Okay, and it's for you to understand that not everyone deserves the benefit of your energy. Yeah. So once again, this is just if you have your sun in the 12th house. So pay attention to your whole chart, whatever other planets you have in the 12th house. This also plays a factor with your sun. Okay, but this video is specifically for sun in the 12th house. And I believe that is it. Also, sun in the 12th house has the ability to interpret spiritual messages. Okay, now depending on what sign you have, for instance, I have Cancer in the 12th house, so I interpret messages from spirit based on tapping into people's energetic and auric field. Okay, energy is my first language, but even more strongly in the realm of emotions and the energy people emote. Okay, I get information from that. If you're a Taurus in the 12th house, you may be very clairsentient. Okay, Sagittarius in the 12th house may be very clairvoyant. Pisces in the 12th house, you are literally a fish out of water in physical reality. And for 12th house people, reality often can feel uncomfortable because it's like you see things that other people don't see, but you're confused as to how they didn't come to the same conclusion as you. And that was something I had to learn growing up, is not everyone sees things the way that I do. And that is why the 12th house is here to be of service, is because we do have that heightened perspective and perception. Okay, and we are here to be healers, work in divination, be of service to humanity in some way, shape, or form. Okay, but first we have to purge ourselves. We have to purge our trauma, our karma, anything that skews our perspective of spirit or our spiritual vision or our ability to channel messages. Okay, because when you have your sun in the 12th house, this literally makes you a spiritual channel, a spiritual medium. Okay, but those messages can be distorted if we are projecting based on our pain or our trauma. Okay, so in order to express the highest potential of your spiritual gifts, it's very important to cleanse your soul, cleanse your karma, cleanse your psyche. Okay. Yeah. So I think this is a great stopping point. If you have any questions about the 12th house, or you want to share your experience as a 12th house person, your experience with people projecting on you, or your psychic gifts. Okay. Because once again, this is a very gifted house. Like, people say this is the house of the undoing, but this is a very powerful house in terms of channeling spirit and allowing spirit to work through you and being a medium of spirit. So if you have your sun here, you may be able to see spirit, hear, talk. Let me know in what ways you communicate with spirit or what spiritual gifts that you have. I will also be linking a Facebook group created by Dr. Honeytrap. She's also an astrologer on YouTube with her sun in the 12th house, and she created a 12th house group for 12th house suns or people with 12th house placements. And it really helps you get a better understanding of all the possibilities that can come from the 12th house, because the 12th house is literally the house of soul, of spirit, where infinite possibilities exist. And the only possibility is not your undoing or being crazy or being psychotic. Now, that can be an aspect of it, but 12th house sons only feel crazy when we let other people make us feel crazy, okay? But you have a unique perspective that if people actually took that time to understand and listen to, they could really potentially be enlightened or learn something new about themselves, because we are mirrors. So yeah, love to hear from you guys in the comment section below, and thank you for tuning into this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.